with keeping this program going today. So in case you didn't get to say thank you earlier, this is not
Woo! Thank you.
And Linda, I forgot. Come on out. Linda's been quiet behind the scenes. She's been so quiet, I forgot about her. Thank you, Linda. From Redding, California. Thank you. All right. So, I know there's a lot of questions on your mind. I'm going to give each of you guys to just talk about, quickly, anything you picked up today, either from other speakers or from your audience.
What I picked up is it's nice to have Utah actually doing these types of things.
Yeah.
Especially a university that actually gets the future and is applying it in the real world. For me, that is a ton of faith in the educational system. I've actually got 6 kids and one of them goes here. And it's like, yes. So that would be my plug there. Grateful for the infrastructure that's here. And I would say the biggest thing for me to take away is all of the parallel paths here in Utah that can come together if we unite and organize. And just what Utah's been developing and building. It's one big road out there, and there's a lot of craziness going on. And when I see Paul here from Australia and see what's going on with Commonwealth countries that have already been de-armed and the centralization of these oligarchs that are just taking over, it's like there has to be a solution to this. We already know that decentralization is a true and correct principle. He talked about it earlier. He's like, America did this a long time ago. We actually decentralized to every single county the authority to govern. The sheriff has it. And I don't know about you, but this country is a pretty special country.
Yes.
Woo!
And this state, like she was talking about earlier, a lot of innovation has come out of this state. This gentleman right here back in the 80s, we're talking about file print, messaging, security, and then everybody copied it, and then they gave it away, right? Right here out of Utah. When we talk about the television, right here out of Idaho. I mean, we're talking a lot of innovation. But how does it actually go to the rest of the world? What we're doing right now, all of us, with decentralization, is so much bigger than file print and messaging and what Farnsworth did with the TV. It is massive. All game-changing rules are all different now. So for me, the takeaway is we need to unite. We need to work together. We need to communicate. I mean, what you guys are doing with Ravencoin is amazing. It really is. And how can we all come together with an ecosystem that serves not just the people today, and yes, there's some value that can be created, but how can we serve future generations? Because I don't know about you, but when we pass from this earth, we can't leave it the way that it is, especially the direction that it's going in. With the basic God-given freedoms that we were all given when we were born. Maybe not this guy, he's a little younger. But you know what I mean? We have this stewardship. We live in an amazing time. That's what I would end on, is we all get to live in this amazing time. So let's work together. Let's do this together. You know that whole, in education, no child left behind? It's like all mankind, one world, one people, but everything we're talking about is in a digital ecosystem, not in a physical jurisdiction or world. So let's make our own rules. Let's believe in ourselves that we're actually born with God-given gifts and choice and rights. Not that we have to have some centralized ecosystems that are literally playing a game with society right now. The biggest game we're living through right this second. Big media, big tech, big health, big government. These are all I would say big education, but this proves it wrong. They're all swarming together to literally create different rules for these future generations. And we may not see it. It may not be totally evident for everybody. But if we literally just pause and try and, someone talked about being open. You got shirts that say open. Is this you? No, it's somebody else. It's good. It's totally truth. You gotta be open up the mind to understand that there's a different reality. but only united together are we gonna solve this. It's not one coin, it's not one ecosystem, it's not one technology, but all of us in this room are using different technologies. When it comes down to it, we're using communication-based devices like these, and we're using storage. And just like the world that Tron has been building on, that's a game. It's a gamification around how people actually get disseminated Bitcoin, or other tokens, or other coins, or other NFTs, whatever you want to call them. It's an asset that can actually trade. And all we need to do is make sure that it's what? It's basically real time, right? There's no centralized finance system in the middle of it. There's no centralized government in the middle of it. And it doesn't cost something that's crazy. All technology has to do is deliver that, and then we got to get organized enough to actually adopt it. It's not more complicated than that, right? Okay, I'll stop my blabbering.
All right.
Woo!
All right, Mike, thanks for leaving me nothing. All right. But I just wanted to say what I learned from this takeaway is that we also talk about adoption. And part of me here, like coming out to a state I haven't been in a while, is to see all these new faces. And that encourages me because we don't get adoption without curiosity. Like we talk about how do we promote people? How do we get people into Bitcoin? Wrong words. How do we promote curiosity? How do we get people to say, why is Bitcoin? What do we do? How do we know about it? I saw a lot of curiosity today. There was a ton of questions, and that energizes me because you guys want to know about it. So when you're encouraged to learn about something, you want to learn about it, and then comes adoption. And that's where we're at now. And I want to see the curiosity. So take the curiosity you have, build upon it, keep asking your questions, keep educating yourself, and you're going to be leading the adoption soon as well.
I basically have nothing to say. No.
Never.
Future, present, past. We left England, we left a king, and we came over to America. And the marketing campaign of America was, we are diversified. We are diversified. Now they use different language, religion, culture, whatever. Come to America. The only thing that was promised was freedom. We got that now. We live in an environment where it's freedom if you choose to live in the free spaces. Early America gave away land cheap. In fact, a lot of it for free. And that's where we are now. Right now, we are the opportunity in crypto and in VR and in blockchain. We are the new America, except now America is the whole world. We don't have to arm ourselves with weapons because all we have to do is ignore the slavery that they have created in a system that's collapsing. All we have to do is make a choice. In the old days, you had to hop on a ship. You had to sail for 30 days, hope you didn't die out in the ocean, then make it to America. Now all you have to do is log on, and you're in the new America. And early in America, there were hundreds of currencies. There were currencies that no one had ever heard of. There were currencies people were familiar with. These currencies and these cultures grew outward. Utah, if you know the history of Utah, has an amazing history. Missouri, amazing history. California, amazing history. What it was cultures coming together on ideas. Not color of your skin, any of that. It was ideas. Blockchain and cryptos in this environment is now a decentralized world of ideas where everyone's got a home. You just gotta find it. Okay, okay, sorry.
Woo!
All right, thank you, gentlemen.
Crime meter.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I'll take one question, a burning question. Okay, pick a color: red, yellow, green.
White.
Okay, someone in a green sticker has a question.
Okay.
No? Okay. Red sticker has a question. Okay, tell us your name.
I'm Brian Christensen.
Okay, Brian, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I was going to ask, what are you excited about most in the future?
All right.
Oh, it's for green.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, okay. What I am excited most about in cryptocurrencies or,
Yeah.
okay.
It could be broader than that, but
The most thing I'm excited about is the youth. Because once they leave the mindset of the old world, the energy of the youth, once you give them a hit of blockchain, we're off and running, folks. This here, we're the old guys. We're barely, sorry, Jeff. We're barely moving along. Our levels of energy is like Netflix with popcorn. You know, the youth is gonna kick this into high gear in about 2 years. Watch how quickly this goes viral when the youth realizes that they are digitally free.
Yeah.
As far as excitement for me in crypto space, I mean, we spent 12 years now, like when Bitcoin started, and we've been looking at how things are going. But really, the space is way beyond crypto. It's the DeFi is leading the way, because once you start to tear down the financial markets is 100 times larger than the current crypto market. Bitcoin gets compared to gold at 10 trillion, but finance is 100 times larger. So I don't think anyone can really comprehend the exponential growth. That's one of the hardest things for humans to understand is exponential growth. And when we kick off the DeFi and start taking down the banking system and really freeing everybody from the financial slavery, that's what I'm most energized about.
Woo! Yeah.
I'm excited for people to actually have. I really am.
Okay.
Listen, that's a popcorn thing, right? For me, you know, this may sound really weird, but I spend a ton of time at this, and I don't feel like I work at all, but I really feel like we're full on at war. And the outcomes and the beautiful future looks like people being able to actually be free.
Here.
To be free. Free from the threat of centralized systems. Whether those are financial systems like you're talking about, because the unbanked, so they can't even get a bank account. We're talking 23% of the world's adult population. Think about that. We all take that for granted. But that's a big deal, and that's only one use case in the financial, what he calls DeFi, decentralized financial system. But I look forward to somebody actually using a cell phone and not being concerned about the email they're sending, or the photo they're taking, or the call that they're making. Because today you may not really understand the threat behind it, but you, in your back of your mind, there's a lot of energy that is actually there. I look forward to the day when this young lady doesn't have to worry about it. I look forward to the day when they start figuring out that their own ID and their own digital reputation is worth something. I look forward to the day when we stop being monopolized and monetized because we wanted a little bit of convenience so that we could search our email, or we could search the web, or we could actually connect with friends on social platforms. I look forward to a world where these things are actually not only free, but we actually get paid. The individual gets paid for who they are. And not the centralized oligarchs, not the Googles, not the Facebooks, not the folks that are actually remarketing and selling you to someone else. That's not to say people aren't going to try and sell products, because they will. But you should be paid for being marketed to. I look forward to the day where it's literally everyone that gets involved in it instantaneously can actually, just like those little pop-ups on your phones, bling. Yes, I will let Toyota market to me because they actually know more data about me than what these fictitious social platforms or Facebooks think they know about me, or Google, etc. I look forward to the day when we don't have financial systems that are literally controlling us like we're a number. They're centralizing our data, our credit, our neighbors, our addresses, what we spend, where we go, what we listen to. And whether we believe it or not, they're tracking us much more than for monetary reasons. But think about a day when you can actually go and get credit to buy a house, or whatever. For years, we thought about the American dream is to buy a home. The American dream is to get credit in a system that's responsible. America has sold that dream because we've lost our fiduciary responsibility behind a financial system. We make something out of nothing. Crypto does not. There's 21 million Bitcoins in the world. That's why there's value to it, because they know it's not going to be diluted out. I look forward to a day when dilution is not a reality, because we're not just knocking on the doorstep, the door is open. What we're seeing right now, how many, not even 2 years ago did we start hearing the words about increasing the debt by trillions. Now it's a common thing every quarter. I don't think we really have done the math and understand what kind of reality from a deflationary standpoint we're going to be dealing with, or the future is going to be dealing with. Okay, things are going to cost more in the future. We get it. But there's a day where these decentralized systems are not controlling us from buying a dozen eggs. Did you know it was actually $2,400 US? $2,400 US. That's a 2,000 with a 400 after it for a dozen eggs in Venezuela about 8 months ago. Think about the value exchange with that. I'm not talking pesos, I'm talking US dollar equivalent. There's a reason why 3 countries have already adopted cryptocurrencies as a standard currency. The reality is it takes an average of 10 minutes to settle one of these transactions. So I look forward to a day where it's real time, not just from a financial standpoint, but the land settlement, real time.
Right.
You know, asset management, real time. The ability for us to actually pass wealth down to a future generation. The ability for a parent to actually be responsible in this digital world. I want to know where my child's going online. I want to know what apps my child has. I want to know their username and passwords. You know what? That's my fiduciary responsibility. No government or education system's going to care about them more than I will.
Amen.
Right? But when they're 18, I look forward to teaching them true and correct principles and letting them fly and giving them their own derived keys. And then there'll be a day when they come back to Papa and Papa says, hey, I'm going to pass on. We just had a team member down in New Zealand pass on this last week. Over 10 years we worked with this wonderful man. His estate is actually easily passed on because his world is in the digital world. There's a point where we don't even think about what these centralized systems are doing with taxation, controls, generational wealth, value exchange. When we add up the tax, we're thinking sales tax, property tax, use tax, and income tax. There's so much more to that when you add it up generation to generation. So the net, you know what I'm looking forward to? I'm looking forward to the future and not being slaves.
Woo! Fire!
Thank you, Jeremy. You'll be sit in your soft, comfy, cushy chairs now. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Woo!